7 value chain actors of rubber production in Ghana have dissociated themselves from the Association of Natural Rubber Actors of Ghana, ANRAG, accusing the group of persistent misleading and deceptive conduct. They say ANRAG falsely presents itself as a broad-based industry body but does not represent all stakeholders in the rubber value chain. They're therefore advising governments to tread cautiously in dealing with the group. The following report has more.
Among the groups distancing themselves from the Association of Natural Rubber Actors of Ghana, ANRAG, are the Rubber Farmers Association of Ghana, the Western Rubber Farmers Association, the Rubber Cap Lumps Traders and Aggregators Association, the Rubber Nursery Operators Association of Ghana, the Ghana Tree Crop Exporters Association, and the Ghana Tree Crops Freight Forwarders Association. Patrick Awatri is an executive member of the Rubber Farmers Association of Ghana, RUFAG.
This action has become necessary due to the persistent misleading, mischievous and deceptive conduct of ANRAG, which continues to undermine the collective interests of genuine stakeholders in the natural rubber industry. Contrary to its claims, ANRAG does not represent all natural rubber actors in Ghana. The association is purely run and managed by rubber processors, dryers, and consistently promotes policies and positions that serve the interests of the single or limited group of processors, dryers, to the clear disadvantage of other actors, being farmers, traders, aggregators, nursery operators, exporters, and others across the value chain.
The Rubber Cap Lump Traders and Aggregators Association of Ghana is accusing the rubber producers and drivers of not adding value to the raw rubber lumps they export, but are seeking to prevent others from doing same. Solomon Donko is the General Secretary of the association.
Drying the rubber. They are not producing anything tangible in Ghana ever since Ghana Rubber Estate came into being. For over 30 years, they haven't produced even a glove or condom or anything that we can say this is actual production that will benefit the country. So they are virtually doing the same thing that exporters are doing. So I don't see the reason why they should be calling for a ban on raw export.
Receiving their statement, Deputy CEO in charge of operations at the Tree Crops Development Authority, Rich Kofi Tu, assured rubber farmers and the other stakeholders that their petition will be reviewed and government duly advised.
For us at Tree Crop Development Authority, as we always state, we are in for the interest of all actors within our value chain, i.e. our farmers, i.e. our aggregators, our traders, our processors and exporters. You are all in for the interest of every actor that we deal with. So we will study the content of this document. Already we've been having a number of extensive stakeholder engagements throughout last year, and it's not going to be different this year. We'll study this document and see what we can do to advise the various ministries and advise government on the best way to go in terms of issues that are happening currently within the rubber sector.
The associations have warned that failure to involve all stakeholders in decision-making could undermine the livelihoods of millions of Ghanaians who depend on the rubber industry, and are calling for immediate action to ensure transparency, fairness, and broad participation in decision-making. For Joy News, Derek Nemaku's report read to you.
Let me now take you to the Upper West region. In the Sisala West District, Chief Executive Abudu Fusein Igbene has assured residents of communities hosting refugees in the district that both locals and refugees are safe. The Zinia enclave alone is hosting about 700 refugees who fled insecurity in neighboring Burkina Faso. Speaking at a World Vision Ghana program in partnership with the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission to establish a community resource management area, Krema, at Bolu, Ms. Egbene said authorities are closely monitoring the activities of refugees to maintain peace and also prevent suspicious persons from infiltrating the communities. Joining us, Upper West Regional correspondent Rafik Salam reports.
The insecurity in Burkina Faso has resulted in the influx of asylum seekers from the country in the northern corridor of Ghana. One of the communities they sought refuge in is Zini, located in the Sisala West District, that shares boundary with Burkina Faso. World Vision Ghana, under the border project, aim at building opportunities, resilience, infrastructure development, ecosystem, and social cohesion for refugees and host communities, is supporting Zini and other communities that play host to these refugees. The overall objective of the border project is to promote the stabilization and prevention of violent conflicts, strengthen resilience, social cohesion across border communities. The Environmental, Social, and Climate Change Coordinator of World Vision Ghana, Abel Ensia, to shed light on the program.
And the one is to provide social infrastructure. And the social infrastructure, we are looking at providing wash infrastructure, also health infrastructure, also looking at providing irrigation infrastructure to help our farmers to also do all year round farming. And the next objective is to enhance social cohesion. So we are working with a local NGO, Raise Ghana, who is supporting us to implement this intervention. So they are looking at putting in community structures that will help us to build peace and social cohesion among the refugees and the host community. So they are helping us to put in community structures like community accountability committee. We are also looking at preparing community action.
Sincerest apologies for the sound challenges. We'll rework that story and bring that to you again in our subsequent bulletins. But moving on, the Coalition of Unpaid Teachers says its members are currently reeling under serious financial hardship due to the government's failure to clear their salary arrears. According to the group, many teachers are struggling to pay rent, utility bills, and meet other basic living expenses. Speaking at a press conference in Accra, the lead convener of the coalition, Paul Ativo, said if the government fails to respond to their concerns by the end of January, the group will be forced to embark on nationwide demonstrations. Fatal Bayaga has more in the following report.
After a series of protests held throughout 2025, the group says more than 6,000 teachers nationwide are being pushed into financial hardship due to administrative delays and the failure of the Ghana Education Service to issue the required staff identification cards. According to the coalition, many of its members have reported to post between 10 and 15 months, but have received payment for only 2 months of work. Paul Ativo is the lead convener of the coalition.
We firmly call on the government of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Education, the Ghana Education Service to urgently address the following through this press briefing. 1. Payment of all outstanding salary arrears. All remaining staff identification numbers. 3. Correction of assumption of duty dates. 4. The rectification of errors in ranks, points, and management units. 5. Inclusion of missing names on both the master and the revalidation list. 6. Validation of teachers who have staff identification numbers but remain unvalidated. And finally, payment of arrears to validated teachers whose outstanding salaries have not been captured.
He noted that the salary arrears are critical to their survival, as many members are currently grappling with severe financial difficulties.
We urgently need our outstanding salaries to settle accumulated debts, pay our rent, cover healthcare expenses, and meet our basic living needs amid the mounting responsibilities we face. Failure to do so will leave us with no other alternative but to lawfully take to the streets to demonstrate and demand the justice we rightly deserve.
He further warned that legal action will be taken against the Ghana Education Service in accordance with labor laws if the arrears are not cleared by the end of January.
The legal action aspect that we are considering is what we find in the labor laws of Ghana. Okay, I've forgotten the article. It's not at my disposal yet, but when you employ somebody, it's a contract, an agreement, and if you don't pay the person for a number of months, the person has the right to follow the legal procedures to go to court for his or her issues to be addressed.
The coalition is urging swift government intervention to prevent further hardship among affected teachers as concerns continue to grow over the delayed salary payments. For Joy News, Fatau Bayaga, Accra.
It's now time for business news. The Ahanta Pele, Samuel Kojo will bring you that after this breather.
Well, let's do business updates now. And tax consultant Francis Timoriboy has stated that the implementation of the new VAT reforms will largely boost Ghana's government revenue while improving compliance through digitization. Although some consumers say they are yet to fully benefit from the expected relief in price reductions, Mr. Timoriboy says the reforms will promote fairness, enhance administrative efficiency, and strengthen voluntary tax compliance in the medium to long term. He spoke to Joy Business.
Yes, immediately we will certainly see a very big hit to government revenue. I think the government estimated about 6 billion cedis. But the counter is that we're expecting a rise in compliance. One of the challenges that we have experienced with our VAT system was the cascading effect, and therefore it hindered compliance. So now that we are now having a straight and a simplified VAT system, compliance is expected to rise, and when that rise, we will end up widening the base for consumption tax, and therefore in the medium term, government should be able to balance off the revenue that they are losing for 2026 with the enhanced compliance. And I believe that is the best to go, because since 2018 we saw a very decreasing effect of our VAT revenue, and with this, in the medium term, I believe that revenue will balance off and compliance will pick up. The challenge is that if we are unable to roll it out and force it properly for compliance to take effect, then that is where we're going to have a big challenge. Then we would have thrown money away.
Well, the Bank of Ghana has indicated that it will not hesitate to sanction licensed firms in the remittance space for non-compliance of market obligations. More in the following report.
According to the Bank of Ghana, it will not hesitate to extend the necessary fines to any firm in the remittance business, as well as international money transfer operators for non-compliance of market regulations. Also, the central bank notes that if during their investigations it is established that international money transfer organizations submitted false information to secure permit, that institution's license will be withdrawn. These directives were captured in a new set of guidelines for the registration of firms that want to do business in the remittance space. The central bank argues that these new set of guidelines is aimed at promoting what it describes as securing an enabling environment for the remittance service. It went ahead to state that they will also, in line with international rules and regulations, check money laundering.
Let's wrap the update with what's trending on the commodities market. And that's all in business updates. Back to you, Puma.
Thank you, Ahantapele Sawo-Kujibris. And that's it for AM News. If you want more news, I know a place, so myjoyonline.com is your best bet. My name is Denisia Pomaide. Enjoy the rest of the show. Up next is sports. Please have a lovely day.